On this red dot, with this mascot, we can cheer and dance and play a whole lot. For in times of good, and at times we should, we will never say cannot. Okay, so how do we do this now? You go inside. Okay, I go inside. This is only a
Bring your
second.
water.
Actually, we should plan
The flow first, right?
Yeah, the flow, as in.
At least because then there's consultation here easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like where you want the emotion to rise and all that.
In my documentary career, I've never done poems within my works itself. It was only in this particular instance where my client, Team Nila, we had a story that we wanted to tell through the entire year. So I felt I could encapsulate all that experience into one story by way of a poem. And it seemed like that worked out in the end.
I think for the start of scene 4 though, pick up the pace a bit. It sounds like you're going like, be it for a game or two. Just be it for a game or... You wanted to create a visual walkthrough of this experience with Team Nila, right? The idea of being like volunteers and being a family. So I was like, okay, just tell me what you need and then we find it within your voice.
And to volunteer is a gift that is hard to compare.
Pause. Okay, is this the tone and speed
I think the speed needs to be a little bit faster because it starts to amp up.
In the few sessions that we had, we really played around with like different tempo and different ways of speaking the words so that he could really bring out that sonic world that he has imagined so that it can marry with his visual world that he has already created.
Be it for a game of two or volunteering with a crew, memories will start to form, a sense of care that feels nice and warm. So bring some friends or make some more. When I write poems, I write it because I'm trying to express a thought. The lyrics of this particular poem came from the observations I've made as well as the conversations I've had with a lot of people within their communities. I've been following Team Nila for the whole of 2021. And so those experiences were the foundation to help me check back on whether the words best represents them.
He took on the persona of like being an older sibling, speaking to someone intimately. How do we make something that's poetry, that's supposed to be conversational and intimate, but then make it such a general group of people will understand it?
It's specific emotion. It's like I know that I can take on that eldest brother stereotype and say it in that way, which I never thought I was planning to do this before. I was planning to maybe be like a floating third person. This is an observer. But then now I feel like, okay, if I say this as an elder brother trying to tell this is what my family is doing.
Can you say these?
These are some photos.
Ta-da! So present it and then you go to the rest.
These are
And I think with OKG's usual speaking pattern, we just had to slow it down a little bit more, give it a bit more depth. That way it became his version of an older brother rather than like a caricatured version of it. The intonation was very strange for that. So I think you can just take it.
Okay, okay, let's try again. So the initial idea was to create like an inspirational, uplifting sort of emotion, that kind of vibe. That was the spark. So that was like my direction to head towards. I'll call those 2 days when you were editing, I wrote the music already.
No wonder why it was so fast.
Yeah, so when you send over So I was writing a piece of music based on the general emotion that OKJ was giving me. And also from the lyrics also, because he conveyed all that together. I usually gravitate towards the interstellar, that kind, because I love Hans Zimmer a lot. So it's in a lot of my writing also, I think. But now we did push it in front.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep it there? Or
I think can move it back.
move it back?
Yeah.
The main thing about this piece is actually just the progression of it. I didn't want it to be just a piano piece because like emotion is conveyed through different sound textures and different moods which are brought about by different sonic palettes.
Between I think scene 5 and 6, I was like, oh, I can imagine like strings going like dun 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 dun. and it gets a little bit slower, so then you should feel that gravitas come in scene 6. Interestingly enough, when we heard the final music track, it kind of followed that trajectory.
So let us fill the place with joyful laughs. This entire process to me was quite magical because it is very difficult to envision what that final outcome would be like in terms of the music that accompanies it or in terms of how I should deliver it, but we take solace in the fact that we are doing each step with earnest, and by virtue of that we would end up somewhere that I think we'll be satisfied with. And then when we put everything together, there is a reward that only the people who have went through the experience will get to earn and enjoy. The road ahead may be a little askew, but to that, Team Nila says, all the more we do.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.